Are you spending money but aren't sure what exactly is working? Don't worry, you're not the only one, but it doesn't have to be this way. Hi, I'm Muna from Munalytics, and today we're going to be going through why tracking is essential for your business. So let's start off with why I believe tracking should be a non-negotiable for your business. Tracking allows you to 1. Understand your customers deeply, 2. Optimize your marketing spend, 3. Improve your user experience, and eventually 4. Be able to measure ROI or ROAS and identify which channels are working. Before we jump in, one thing I do want to say is when starting out especially, make sure you keep it simple. What I mean by this is it's easy to get caught up in all of the data, but focus only on the essentials, which includes deciding your conversion metrics or what you would count as a conversion. If you have channels that you are particularly interested in, identifying what the performance metrics of those channels should be, and try to make sure that when you are displaying the data, you don't overpack it with too much information. I'll share an example of a dashboard that I found online. Here I'm showing a dashboard that's been created by someone else that does a good job of displaying the overall data. It's on the upper end of how much data I would include. I would not go over this much data essentially, where you have some of the high level metrics such as performance by channel. In this case, they've opted for sessions, device breakdowns, and the performance by country. This report is specifically just using GA4 data. Now that we've seen keeping it simple when starting off with tracking, let's talk about some of the misconceptions or barriers that businesses tend to face when it comes to tracking. The first and most common is usually that tracking is too complicated for them to implement. I would argue that basic tracking, just getting Analytics 4 set up or something like that, is relatively simple. However, especially if you're spending money, I would even make a case to pause advertising for a month or whatever your investment was into advertising. Find someone to help you set up some of this stuff. That usually more than covers it. The second item is before embarking on your tracking journey, I would highly recommend you set clear goals before tracking about what you want to track and what you're hoping to achieve as a business. Inconsistent tracking. As you go deeper into tracking, you'll come across stuff like UTM parameters. It is important to try and keep consistency across multiple channels, as it will make your life easier in the long run. Ignoring the data, or what I like to call analysis paralysis. You have a ton of data in front of you. You have a ton of data available to you. Even just looking at Google Analytics 4, there is so many breakdowns. What I would suggest is you start really simple. Ask very basic questions. Which channels are driving the most conversions and stuff like that, and then build from there on out. Now that we've covered that, you might be asking yourself, how do I get started with track? I've put together what I call 5 simple steps for everyone to really get started. The first one is defining your key event or your business goals. How I would narrow this down or make a decision based on this, if you're an e-commerce brand, pretty simple. It's how much revenue you're driving. For most other brands, it will be lead based. When it is lead based, you can say how many form submissions did I get, how many people are clicking to phone the business, but how many people are getting in touch. I do not like using other metrics as conversions. Examples I would give is how long they spend on a website. If they spend 30 seconds or more, how many pages they visit. Ultimately, that won't align with my business goal of driving more leads or driving more sales. The second step is to install a basic analytics program. My recommendation usually is Google Analytics 4. It is free, and make sure that you set up tracking via the program to track the events that you have decided are your business goals, which would usually be leads or revenue. Step 3 is regularly review your data. Just have a look into your data, do some exploration. Start with usually questions. Where is most of my revenue or leads coming from? Where is my traffic coming from? Etc. etc. Step 4 is to start using the data. Now we're going to build on some of those questions, and we're going to say, when I invested additional into Google Ads, let's say this month I'm investing double into Google Ads, what has that meant for sessions? What has that meant for either leads or revenue or conversion? From there, you can make inferences. You can start making decisions of maybe I shouldn't be spending so much in Google Ads, or it's still going well. Maybe we start to invest more. And the 5th step is always don't be scared to ask for help. As you get deeper and deeper into the data, there's certain nuances with the data. There's certain reasons why things happen within the data itself, and understanding the data and using the data is a very big step. You can go down a lot of rabbit holes, is the honest truth. Reach out to help, talk to someone more experienced within the industry or anything like that, or just even contact me for a chat. That's my quick guide in how to get started with tracking, as well as why it's important. As always, if you have any questions or comments, please leave a message below, reach out to me directly. I'm always happy to help. Thank you for watching.